Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time it is that you're tuning in. I'm so excited to have a professional newscaster, interviewer, anchor, journalist, award-winning, as we just found out, which we'll get into, Miss Stacie Schaible with us today. We're calling this episode the gold standard of newscasting.
Love that.
So no pressure for me because I'm literally interviewing a professional interviewer. So we're going to do like tips after this is over. I hope you're ready.
Fair enough.
And we also have, for the very first time, our newest addition, Mr. Scott Harpster.
Glad to be here.
Yes. Not on the drums, which is usually how you are seen on performance.
Right.
Now podcasting. You can add that to your resume.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Love it. Cool. So, Stacie, I was doing some research and found out a little bit about your background. But primarily what we're going to talk about is your experience in newscasting, but now being in the hot seat, usually you are the person in this chair delivering the questions and commentary. So we like to start out with an icebreaker.
Okay.
And then we're going to get right into how it feels to be in that chair.
Okay.
So let us know, what is the funniest or strangest thing that has ever happened behind the desk that never made it on air?
Let me see.
Because we get to see what happens
on air. I think the funniest thing that repeatedly happens is we have the same commercials that air. I mean, there's been one that's been airing for years. We joke that the dog is now dead in the commercial, and the children have grown up and have children of their own. So we kind of, I shouldn't say make fun of the commercials, but we'll sing along with them, do the jingles, and then we'll get the giggles sometimes. And then we're coming out to something that's pretty serious. So we have to pull it together rather quickly.
Break from the character into character.
We have a lot of fun in the commercials because people are like, the news is so heavy. Like, how do you deal with that? And it's like, well, you can't internalize all of it, you know, and we do try to have light moments as much as we can. I mean, those are our favorite moments, right? You have to give people what is going on, and that's kind of the bad news, the serious stuff, but then have fun too.
I love it. Okay, the jingles have become your jingles.
Yes.
I'm sure you probably dream about them.
With different words.
Yeah. Well, whoever the advertiser is, like, could you just steer them our way? We've got a dog for them.
All right. Walter needs to star in an ad.
Yes. Wait, I love this. Okay, speaking of being on air and what happens behind the scenes, you have, not to give it up, but now you've been in Tampa for 26 years, and originally were in much smaller demos.
Yes.
Fargo happened to be my favorite. Duluth, I also read.
Yes.
So you've had the progression now of like going from market to market, and now being really, no pun intended, the anchor of news in Tampa Bay.
Right.
I want to know though, because we see what's on air.
Right.
How did you go about developing that on-air personality? Is that different from who we would expect to meet, like when the camera goes off?
I mean, I almost equate it to like when you're sent home with your brand new baby and you're like, are they really letting me leave with this child? When you're brand new in broadcasting, you're kind of like, are they really going to put this in my hands?
Yes.
You know, it is a little bit fake it till you make it.
Okay.
It really is, because you don't have a strong sense of who you are or what you sound like. I got one pretty quickly, though. I started in Duluth, Minnesota.
Yes.
And they pretty quickly saw something in me.
Yes.
But I had a very strong Minnesota accent.
Oh.
That they wanted to correct. So they took me off air for a week, and I worked with a language specialist.
Really?
Who helped me, because I also had a kind of a thick S, like a sibilant lisp, they call it, that I also had to work on. So those are all things when you're growing up, you don't really understand the sound of your own voice.
Oh, I hate the sound of my own voice.
And I didn't even think I had an accent.
I would love a coach for this.
Right?
I'm like, don't, I can't listen. So.
But I mean, I guess I used to say about, and the boat down there in Minnesota. And like, I didn't know I even had an accent. And in Fargo, they made fun of it. I was in Fargo when the first Fargo movie came out.
I love it.
And people were like, we don't sound like that. And I'm like, well, we kind of do.
Yeah,
depends on where you're from.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So what do you think would surprise people now, having kind of developed that, not just speaking cadence, right? But you also kind of have to develop how you are approaching the camera, whoever you're sitting in front of, the news story. Like, what would you think is different that people find off air about you?
You know what? I find that because I've been doing this 36 years total now,
Okay.
when we started, people weren't used to being on camera. Outside of home movies, people were not used to be on camera. So as soon as the phone came along,
true. Yeah.
everybody stars in their own, you know. So I feel like the young people getting into the business have a huge advantage now.
Very
like,
true.
They're a little more comfortable in their own skin, where I felt like we were very stiff, kind of afraid to move, following the teleprompter to the T. But back when I was getting started, Deborah Norville was on the Today Show. And there were some people that I did kind of pattern my cadence after. I wouldn't say that's true anymore, but a little bit you have to go, who do I like? Why do I like them? And what are they doing that works for them?
Yeah.
And so I felt like I did try to do that until you get more comfortable in your own skin. And I do feel like the best broadcasters are the ones who sound and act the exact same, whether they're on camera or not.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I try to help the younger reporters when it comes to mentoring them, because I see some of them who don't move their hands at all. And then some people who have a circus with their hands all the time, and like, their hands are doing
Like,
so much,
calm down.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's a fine line to be yourself, and then to go back and watch it and say, oh, I move my head a lot, or I do this.
Sure.
I don't really think about that anymore.
Yeah.
But I can see why it's a little daunting when you're new to it.
100%. And I have to imagine, I love that you pointed out kind of the evolution, because
Can you see it even with podcasts?
Right, exactly.
Right? People are more comfortable just being on camera.
Yes, there is an authenticity, and it's expected at this point, right? And I think our barometer for telling what's real and what's not real from someone on camera, you know, is at an all-time high as well. Whereas, you know, maybe when you were getting started and in sort of the evolution of what an anchor looked and
Felt
talked
like I was acting.
Yes, right.
I don't at all anymore, but back then I'm like, oh, I have to play the role of news anchor now, you know?
100%. Yeah, because it was a role, and now it's like almost an identity.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope that people, like, when you meet me in person, you're like, oh, yeah, she's kind of the same as she is on air.
She is great.
Kind of asked for that.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to, you know, when you were talking about, oh, you looked at different newscasts or anybody?
I would say a couple years to really feel comfortable. And it's so much learning. It's like drinking from a fire hose, because I do feel like I know a lot about I know a little about a lot of things.
Sure.
But I don't know a lot about anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Jack of all trades. Jill of all trades.
Jill of all trades. I
Yes.
absolutely feel like that. Like the older you get, the more you're like, oh, well, this time, you know, that one time, you don't want to be a one-upper. Nobody likes the one-uppers. But I feel like the older and more seasoned you get, you kind of just are that way.
Well, you fall into your rhythm too.
Yeah.
I feel like having, you know, to coach people, especially now with social media, obviously we're a marketing agency, so we are constantly having to put people in front of a camera who don't want to be, are super resistant, or like don't know, they're just not comfortable, right?
Right.
And so trying to like coach them into, and hearing it's taken you years and years and years, has to give some, you know, of our clients like some
Some
relief.
people are natural at it, though they really are.
Yeah, that's true.
And others, they're not comfortable. And that's all right. That's what makes us humans, right?
100%. So as you kind of moved through not just the evolution, but also the markets into Tampa, were there things that you feel like you had to unlearn?
Not so much unlearn, but just I feel like being a local news anchor is all about knowing your audience and knowing where you live. And so the longer you're here, the more comfortable you get. I honestly feel like we have been talking about a new Tampa Bay Rays stadium since the day I got here.
So do I. If they could do it already,
For like
that would be
26 years.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, nope, not the right. So some things never change. But I also remember when I was working in Austin, Texas as the main anchor at the NBC affiliate there.
Okay.
And WFLA found me back in the day, they would go to an agency and they
Yes.
would look at tape and they're like, oh, we like her. So they called and said, we're interested in you coming to be the heir apparent, the next main anchor that we'll have.
Okay.
And I said, oh, that sounds really nice, Tampa, but I only have a top 25 out, which meant I could only leave Austin for a top 25 market. And they're like, we're number 14. I'm like, Tampa? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Tampa, sleepy Tampa.
Right.
It's always been a big market because it includes Sarasota. It includes Polk County. We go pretty far north. We're actually the largest TV market in Florida. We're larger than Orlando. We're larger than Miami. And it's always been that way.
Shocked by that.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Bigger than Jacksonville.
Okay.
So it's not that Tampa's big, but the number of eyeballs who see our product is the biggest. If we lost Sarasota, that wouldn't be the case. If we lost that market and it became its own market. But yeah, so I said, absolutely, I want to come see what Tampa's about. Fell in love. Here I am.
Well, Tampa's changed a lot too.
Oh my goodness. The downtown was so sleepy when
Yeah.
I got here. Like everything, turn the lights out at 5
Right.
o'clock. It's over.
Yeah.
And now it's hopping. I
is.
love it. I mean, the evolution's amazing.
Yes. Well, if you could just put a plug in for that Rays Stadium, we'd all be really
I want it
happy about
too.
that. I feel like
I would, if I could ask to talk about one thing
yeah.
that has changed so much. I remember when I was college studying journalism and they were like, oh, TV news isn't going to be around. This was 36 years ago, right? Like TV news is going to die. It's just not going to be a thing. Well, it's obviously been a thing, but it has more rapidly changed and evolved in the last, I would say, 5 years. 3 years.
Sure.
Just things have gone so fast. And I feel like a couple of the things that have changed, the political climate changed.
Yes.
And when there became stations that leaned one way or the other,
Right.
it became difficult for local news
Sure.
who are still trying to stand by. We get both sides of the story. So that's been difficult. I think COVID also changed things. People started staying home more.
Right.
They didn't necessarily watch the news more. We did the news out of our living rooms in some cases. But now I'm doing a podcast style newscast, almost similar to this, every day at 11, where it's more conversational. We're not kind of telling you the news.
Yeah.
We want to bring you into it. And I really do kind of like this evolution of news because I feel like I'm getting it about right on the political side of things. If I hear people from both sides saying you're leaning this way or that way, then I must be somewhere right in the middle.
Yes.
But really local news isn't meant to be leaning one way or the other.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a red state, a blue state, whatever.
Sure.
So I feel like that's been difficult because people want to assume you're trying to steer them one way or the other. And I honestly can tell you I'm not.
Right.
I feel like I get it right when I hear from people on both sides.
Okay, there's so much you just said that I really want to unpack because I feel like the last 3 to 5 years specifically, from your angle of trying to deliver the news in a nonpartisan way, has to have become more and more difficult by the second, right? Because even just a flat delivery, someone somewhere is going to twist things.
Right.
And so how has that changed, like trying to navigate delivering? Because you have to meet people where they are.
You pre-read everything.
Okay.
And here's a great example.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth
Yes.
is in town today, right? And we're at war.
Yes.
And some people say he is the Secretary of War. Some people say he is the Secretary of Defense.
Correct.
And which one you call them gets people upset either way.
Yes.
You can't, right?
Yes.
They're like, no, he's not the Secretary. So we call him Secretary Hegseth. Just Secretary Hegseth,
Okay.
right? Because why muddy the waters?
Sure.
That's not our
Relevant
job. It
necessarily
really
to-
isn't.
yeah.
That isn't the point of the story.
Yeah.
But that's how the minutia that we're in the middle of,
Sure.
that we never worried about
Yeah.
years ago. And I'm not saying it's because of this president. I think that this president, it's changed a lot.
Polarized.
Polarized is a good way to put it. But we don't play into that. We're not looking to play into that. The Gulf of Mexico versus the Gulf of America.
Sure.
Those are things we say all the time during hurricane season.
Right.
Now we just go with the Gulf. Right?
I'm learning
Keep
so
it
much.
simple.
Yeah.
Does this make sense to you? Because I feel like you say it one way, the other side gets mad, but yet this is what this administration wants to go by.
Right. Well, the
So,
details matter.
yeah, they do matter.
And regardless of how you pick that up, like sometimes you have to leave it out intentionally to try and deliver
Because that's
the
not the point of the
information.
story.
Exactly.
Right? It isn't whether he's the Secretary of Defense or War.
Yes.
It's why he's here.
People
That's
will
the
get
story.
hung up and miss the whole point.
Yes.
Okay.
We kind of went off on a
I
tangent.
love
there.
it because I feel like for us, we operate in a world where
Branding is everything.
yes, citizen journalism, personal brand, and this idea that the news can come from anywhere and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, sorry, not in the questions, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask it anyway. How do you navigate like dispelling like deepfakes or citizen journalism or information
AI.
that AI, right? Like this is a real hurdle.
So we need two sources. If we get a story, I'm trying to think of a recent one that came in. Oh, we heard that the Tampa police chief was retiring. We heard it kind of through the grapevine.
Okay.
But we needed two different sources, independent of each other, confirmed
Yes.
before we will actually put it online or on air.
Okay.
So that is still true. So when you see these videos, you used to be able to kind of tell the deep fakes.
Sure.
It's getting too good
It
now.
is so good.
So are we going to get caught once in a while? Sure.
Yeah.
But we're very careful. We are not putting something on until we're pretty darn certain.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also at a point where anyone who provides us with video, we need to get their signature. We need to know you've given us the right to use this. You're
Yeah.
not going to come back later and say we shouldn't have used it. There's a form we have everybody who gives us video
Right.
sign.
Which
That's
makes it
changed.
challenging.
Very challenging.
Yeah, because oftentimes you want to some degree, you feel obligated, right? If you have a piece of information, you feel
Sometimes
that's
there's
important,
great
but-
video
Yeah, well, that
that
too.
you can't get approval for,
Right.
but you may not know the source, and therefore
Yeah.
we can't use it.
Do you feel like social media? Walter's
Walter.
Walter's got
I
opinions.
thought it was storming outside.
Walter's got opinions on this one. Do you feel like social media and the ability to like comment back has also changed how you're able to navigate the delivery?
I feel like
Or that
social,
happens in another echo chamber on its own?
well, we invite social media comments on that 11 a.m. newscast. And a lot of times, if we're looking to flush out a story, we might even go to comments
Sure.
and reach out to people and say, you seem to have a strong opinion about this. It's a great way to get both sides of the story, too.
Right.
A lot of times people are like, no, I don't want to be on TV.
Don't put my name.
Don't put my name out
Never
there.
mind.
But
Yeah, I'm
but
trying
a
to keep
lot
my
of
job.
times they do, right?
Yeah.
And so social media has become a source for us for news. Even the Nextdoor app. People will jump on there with opinions or something that's happened.
Breaking
I mean,
news.
some of these apps are amazing sources of information because
Yeah.
when I go to elementary schools and describe what I do, I'll have like 3 kids. Like, you go in the hallway, you go in the bathroom, you go over there.
Yes.
Come back and tell me what's happening.
I
That's
love
what
this.
we're doing
Yeah.
in the news every day. We're looking like what's going on in Citrus County, what's going on in Hernando County.
Sure.
We're just telling you what people are talking about
Yeah.
today,
What a great example.
right?
What
And
a
then the
fun
little
activity.
kids are like,
Yeah.
oh, never thought of that.
Well, now isn't like the number one career choice of a teen 20 something, they want to be a YouTube star too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Don't quote me, but I'm
I think you're not
Yeah.
far off.
Yeah.
They don't want to be news anchors per se anymore.
right.
Maybe podcasters though,
Yeah. That,
right? I think everybody's learning it's okay to have an opinion. And
yes.
I'm all right with that. You're not forced
Have
to
we
watch
gone too
somebody's-
far? Does everyone need to have an opinion
I
about
don't-
everything though?
I know. I agree with that too. Like I don't necessarily like don't try
Really?
to convince me to switch my opinion on things on Facebook because
Yeah.
it's probably not going to happen.
Wrong forum.
Wrong forum for that. Yes, correct.
You have a question?
Oh, I was just going
Yeah.
to say that there's always healthy, conversations, that doesn't need to like turn into some type of argument or,
Amen.
going back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
When family members,
Well,
go
Not
after
every
each
yeah,
other.
not every table has to be family Thanksgiving table style.
Correct.
Just
You
about to
know?
say that. Yeah.
Yes.
I of course didn't set the timer, and we are quickly approaching 21 minutes. So I
That's
do have
fast.
some. I know, very fast. I have a question for you though, like because the types of stories you're delivering can go from one spectrum to the other, right? And so you've got the middle, which is sort of like the Tampa Bay Rays are or not moving. And then you've got, politics or attacks, murders, war,
Right.
all the way to your feel-good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can't bookend those, and they just sit right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate going from one to the next and remaining human in the middle of it?
I think actually our producers do a pretty good job of that.
Okay.
And either you might switch anchors, take a pause. I think a pregnant pause always gets people's attention.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing.
I love it.
You love what I
Yeah,
did right
I was
there?
like, she's
Everybody's
doing
like,
it.
oh, wait, did she just lose her train of
Yeah.
thought? No, I was making a point.
We're
But,
learning.
right?
Masterclass.
So that's an easy way to put like a little stop in there or a camera turn from this camera to maybe we go to that camera. And that gives you
Production.
that just a beat to change. But, I'm never one to really being like, well, this is terrible and this person's dead and then
No, you-
but in other news,
Anyway, right.
you try to navigate it softly, and they do try not to put the stories what happens a lot is in teases. Like
Yes.
we'll have this story and they'll be like, coming up next, Bozo the Clown, and it's like,
You're like,
oh.
wait.
You see that and you just want to be like, sometimes I'll just not read it and I'll say, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Does any of this training, has it translated to how you navigate personal relationships, romantic relationships, familial relationships? Like, do you use any of that off camera?
Don't ever have my kids on. They will
Right.
tell you I am unfiltered.
Oh,
I am unfiltered.
Okay.
Like, I just flat out, I'll just say it. And then my daughter will be like, really?
yeah.
Mom?
That's
Really?
what, yeah. You're like, this is my moment. Then we're no
And
yeah.
true. I think the older you get too, the more like, I don't have time for all that pussyfooting around. Like,
Yeah.
let's just get to it.
Yeah.
Snap to it.
Tell me the thing.
I am very much like, it's funny
Direct.
because Keith Kate, my co-anchor who just recently retired, he said, I'm now getting Netflix without ads because I'm so old. I don't have time to watch the ads. I'm running out of time. And I'm like, you're so right. I don't have
Yes.
time for the ads. Like, I just want to get to things. I don't want to, I think
Well.
our attention spans have gone from
yeah.
to this,
Hands
right?
down.
And so the scrolling, keeping people's attention.
Yeah.
I just feel like nobody has time for the long answers anymore.
They don't. No, even the pregnant pause. I'm like, uh-huh.
Had you hanging there for a second,
Yeah.
right? No. Now you
love
can
it.
use that.
I will. I 100% will. I got time for one more, and then
Okay.
we've got rapid fire questions for
Okay.
you. Okay. Being in the hot seat today is atypical of your day to day, but I do want to ask for my own edification. What do you think makes someone a really great interviewee?
I think paying attention and listening, don't have canned answers. It's okay to go a little sideways with what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think just being comfortable and confident in whatever you're being asked about. I always tell people, don't run away and say no comment. It's the worst thing you can do. It's better to face it and say, we understand. These are the accusations. We're looking into it. It's what the Tampa Police Department did with some recent video out of Ybor City.
Sure.
We're aware of it. We're investigating it. This doesn't happen overnight. We're not taking this lightly. I think it's always better to have a response, whatever.
Yes.
And in marketing and
Oh, yeah.
branding, right?
100%.
Crisis management. Did that answer your question?
I think it did, and I'm going to flip it too, because how do you think being on this side, because this is your typical role, right? Like, what do you think makes someone a really good interviewer?
I think listening. Like having the list of questions, but oh wait, this one deserves a follow-up.
Yes.
I think that's key. The eye contact, the asking. I think Oprah is the queen of interviews, right?
Yes.
And everybody's like, what would Oprah ask? And it's often the question that's really uncomfortable to ask.
Yeah.
But you ask it in such a way that it isn't uncomfortable.
Sure.
Or you flat out say, this is uncomfortable for me to ask.
Right.
But I need to ask you this.
It's a disarming way to line up a question that you're not really sure how it's going to land.
Right. Because you never want to be talking to somebody that you feel isn't listening to a word you're saying.
100%.
So being a good listener, I think, is the key to being a good interviewer.
Yeah. I like that answer. Active listening.
Yes.
Okay, I've got some rapid fire questions for you. Here we go. What's your favorite social media app?
Instagram.
Oh, okay, mine too. What's yours?
Instagram or YouTube,
Yeah.
depending on the day.
YouTube, yeah, okay. Is there a question that you wished people asked you more?
How are you feeling?
Right?
I honestly was thinking the same
been,
thing.
Yeah. It's
My
always has the
kids,
news.
I'm always worried about my kids.
Yeah.
They need to go, Mom, how are you? Right?
Yes. Wait, I love that. Okay, so honest. Knowing that you have to be on all day long, black coffee, green tea, or just pure adrenaline to get you from the 4 to 6 p.m. news segments?
Okay, so I'm 1 cup of coffee in the morning,
Yes.
1 Diet Coke at lunch,
Okay.
and Chardonnay after work. They might call me Chardonnay Schaible.
Are we twins? Sweet. This is great. It's fantastic. Okay, after 20 plus years,
Yes.
what is the one word that Keith Kate would use to describe you during a commercial break?
Distracted. Because I'm on my phone.
Okay.
I'm checking with the kids and
Yes.
what's going on.
Yeah,
Distracted.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
But, we have 2 minutes to be distracted. I
Right.
dial it back in.
2 whole minutes to yourself.
He would say, though, she's on her phone a lot.
Catching up.
Yes.
Okay, last question. For the people dreaming of being on TV, what is the first thing that you would recommend that they do to prepare?
Always be curious. If you don't have an innate sense of curiosity, you have no place in this business because you have to wonder about everything, even the most boring topics. I covered like mining in Hibbing, Minnesota. I didn't really care about mining,
Sure.
but you have to at least have enough interest to do a little research and then want to learn. I love learning. I still learn every day. And I often say, I learned something new today.
I love that. Professional question asking off camera.
I
on
am a
camera.
lifetime learner. I mean,
Yes.
I send my kids reels. I asked my son, we golfed the other day. I said, do you watch the reels I send you? And he goes, no.
That's okay. Never stop. Yeah. I've got threads like that too. Like, I don't care if you're watching. I'm going to send them anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Yes.
I mom through Instagram.
Love that. Stacie, this has been so fun.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you if they're not watching the news already?
Okay, so we have a cool newscast at 11 a.m.
Yes.
It's the hybrid. It's going to go to an hour. That's breaking news.
Okay.
It's right now. It's from 11 to 11:30, Monday through Friday.
Yes.
And it's really a conversation, very similar to this, with some headlines, but more funny things we want to talk about. That will go from 11 to noon. Then I'm on from 4 to 5, which is a more traditional newscast, but with some fun mixed in.
Okay.
And then I am now the solo anchor of News Channel 8 at 6, which is still our newscast of record each day, where we put what we consider the most important stories to people locally. That's where you'll find it in that 30 minutes right before nightly news.
And also congratulations
Oh,
on
yes.
your unreleased Murrow Award.
Murrow Award. I'm now
Fantastic.
a Murrow Award winner
I love
for innovation for the 11 a.m. newscast that we do, which some viewers aren't, but I think you're going to be seeing more
Yes.
of this style
Mhm.
newscast.
This has been awesome. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks
Thank you
for having me.
allowing me to ask questions. I'm excited to hear all the feedback after too, but we will definitely tune in to the new podcast style and go check it out for our own tips and tricks.
Sure.
Yeah. love
Maybe
it.
we'll have you on.
Ooh.
Say less.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, check out our newsletter, and we'll see you next time.